Not really. I was blessed to be recruited by many schools, and I finally made a decision that I was going to stay in the state. So if you're going to stay in the state of Oklahoma and play, it's either OU, Tulsa, or OSU. And I liked all three schools, but at the end of the day, the Silman boys, Leroy, Lucius, and Dewey, they too are from Eufaula. And, just great guys and good football players. And I remember in the 7th grade, OU kind of hit my radar screen because we played Nebraska. University of Oklahoma played the University of Nebraska in the game of the decade. And both teams were undefeated, played in Norman. And for the first time in my life, I saw someone on national television that I knew personally. It was Lucius Silman. And it clicked with me in a way that I had not, it intersected with me in a way that I had never experienced, just because Lucius dated my sister and in high school, and this guy that was in my front room, now he's on my TV screen. That was a big deal in Eufaula, Oklahoma, to the kids down there. And so before that, the two teams that I really kept up with, I could tell you a whole lot more about Notre Dame and Grambling than I could the University of Oklahoma until that game in 1971. So I decided I was going to stay in the state of Oklahoma. When I was getting recruited, I took trips to Texas Tech and Rice University and Oklahoma State, OU. I played basketball, so I didn't get to travel a whole lot. But I finally concluded that what I wanted in a program, good academics, good athletics, you get national exposure on TV, 2 hours from home. I just decided I was going to pick the University of Oklahoma, and of course, the rest is history.
Yeah. And you get there, and like you said, you didn't, you go to OU, and at first, you like I said, you want to quit twice.
Yeah.
So freshman year was not easy and tough. And when you go at that point, that you're going through the kind of probably low esteem, you think, I don't want to do this anymore. What was the what were you thinking you were going to do? Were you just going to leave football and go to studies?
No, I was looking for another school.
You were just going to go out. Okay.
Go to another school because you think the grass is going to be greener on the other side of the fence. But if you leave OU and go to OSU, or you go to UCLA, or you go wherever you think you want to go, Texas Tech, you're going to deal with the same problems, the same issues. And I think, my freshman year, after I had that visit with Coach Switzer, two things happened. I thought, my education, maybe I should, give a little more thought to that. I was a good student, but football was my focus. Yeah. And so I said, hey, education, take advantage of it. It just registered with me. And secondly, I think I grew up. I started to mature a little bit. And before the second time I quit and went home to Eufaula, my father, who spent 2 days in the 7th grade, he always talked about getting an education. Now, to most people of that generation in my neighborhood, when they said get an education, they meant finish high school. They didn't necessarily mean go to college. And Daddy spent 2 days in the 7th grade. That was the extent of his education. And the second time I quit, I guess he could see this was becoming a habit, things not going my way, and I kind of turned my back on it and quit. And he said something to me that, again, I was ripe for what Coach Switzer said to me, but I was also ripe for what Daddy, the seed he had planted before I had the conversation with Coach Switzer. Daddy said to me, he said, Junior, you're in an age that you're going to have to make these decisions on your own. He said, I'm not going to try to influence you one way or the other. He said, but I want you to realize if what you're doing was easy, everybody would be doing it. And Michael, again, I guess I was just ripe to hear that. And so he really planted a seed. I went back, talked to Coach Switzer. Coach Switzer saying what he said. And for some reason, I didn't think Barry Switzer was just trying to coax me into staying, right, and not leaving. He said, we're going to redshirt you. I played 12 downs, total of 12 downs in 12 games all season long my freshman year. He said, next year we're going to redshirt you, which means you're not going to even play 12 downs. You're not going to play one down next year. He said, you'll come off redshirt as backup, you'll start for 2 years, and that's the way it happened. And again, for some reason, I was ripe to hear that. I didn't think he was saying it just to, butter me up, trying to get me to stay so he'd have somebody that could run the scout team. I took him at his word, and that's exactly how it turned out. I was redshirted, came off redshirt as a backup to Thomas Lott, and started for 2 years, and had a nice career at the University of Oklahoma, and graduated in 1981 with a degree in journalism.